Your favorite art. West Side. Yeah, I'm feeling myself today, y'all. Kind of feeling myself in a good way. It's your man, your brother, West Side from the block, Chicago, South Side, the home of Judah. What up, dog? Over here heating up something in this microwave, which I shouldn't be. I should have put it in the oven. I don't know why I didn't. Why I just came from outside, getting it in, getting Troy, coming through, putting my ass to work. You did? The car was acting up. My man called me, what's saying? King, where you at? What you doing? Man, King, getting ready. Called me Sunday. We're gonna get to it Monday. I don't know what this noise is. My baby got to drive. Woody woo. Got you. Say less. And of course, I woke up late. I was supposed to be over at 9 o'clock. And he called me at 10. At 10 something. I think 9 something too. I was dead ass asleep. I was cooking. Then he called me back at 10 something. I jumped up. And that call I heard. Jumped up. Like, man, let me get the hell up. Get in motion. Jumped in the water, got dressed, and got the fuck out. He was up the street like, man, want me grab you? I'm right up the street. I'm like, no, I got it. Because I knew I had to get up and do my ritual. I would just get up and jump up and put on clothes. I ain't just running nowhere. Have my moment with the Most High. Set my day off in worship. Listening to gospel music or probably listen to Hezekiah, John Boy, Beloved Dawood, Esham Burgundy. Definitely Samara Israel. Y'all check her out, sisters. She be doing her thing. She holding it down for the daughters of Zion. She got that song I love, Israelite Man. Ooh. Y'all gotta hear that. I don't want to start singing and mess that woman's song up. She be like, okay, brother, I see you enthusiastic, but I don't need you. Things shift. Things about to shift in 0.2 seconds. What I've been doing. And that's why I'm making this video. Brothers, whatever you do, stay down. Stay down and stand on your business. I don't care what people saying or what they thinking or doing. Stay down and stay on your business. Because guess what? All work pays. It's gonna work. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. Hear this? I gotta clean my phone too. What up, dude? What up, dude? Things about to accelerate in my life for the good. See if I can rise to the occasion and bring this goodness to the world. My way. Yahuwah's way. According to the instruction. We're gonna see what it do. We're gonna make it do what it do. Whatever we do. That's all we're gonna do. Make it do what it do. You dig? So y'all be on the lookout for them clubs. We about to blow up like Martin at the gas station. I'm about to blow up. This nigga is silly. Martin is stupid. Hey, how much food you Martin is stupid. Riding around, chilling by myself. Don't you know I do it so well? I don't know what's going on in the world, but I know what Luke 21 say. You're gonna see all kind of things coming to the earth. But no, it's not the end time. You know, but then You got too much AI out here. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. But be on the lookout. I'm about to start pushing these clothes like weight. You dig? See where we're gonna take it to the top. We're gonna make it do what it do. I've been waiting on that opportunity to come. I'm gonna kick the dough down. They let me in this game on. I'm like, where the fuck he been? If I want to know about, it's a lot of us they don't know about. Stay off grid, family, but stay consistent. That just because we off grid, you hear us, especially me talking about come out of the world and build your own system. Put your own system in play. Why is that, Dwayne? So you can receive the things that the Most High already has in store for you. What we ask in the world to furnish for us is already in you. Think to it. How Angelo Roberts took over Chicago's deadliest gang at 22. I was locked up on that case where they showing his picture. He said he shot somebody on the roof, from the roof. And I was in 90 and came in the county. I was already on the deck. I think we was on D2 at the time. I was on C2, right across from Division 1, Cook County, Chicago. He was cool as fuck. Then, once I got my time, I wound up. Damn, his own niece told on him. Big U's niece. He wanted to hurt Nipsey Hussle because Nipsey was doing his own thing. Y'all don't know how the streets operate. People listen to all this rap shit. That shit'll get you dangled. Have your ass dangling. I ain't saying them boys don't. They ain't about that life or doing. They ain't true to who they are. I don't know if they're about that life, but I can say I'm quite sure every man, woman, and child alive is true to their life, right? I do too, cause the Most High said the Gentile will come to you and tell you they inherited lies from their forefathers, and they repent, and that's what they doing. Look the videos everywhere with all this information, especially how we constantly bring it out. You can look over our track record for years. I mean, Johnny come that. They don't want to hear you just speaking the truth. They want to see some glitter and lights and videos, drum bombs dropping, people doing whatever they doing to people to kind of drive to make the people aware, but to really drive the story home with all the, sort of like the world. I don't do all that shit. Excuse my French, but I don't do all that. You know, I'm just straight word, straight information. This ain't none of them. I'm trying to set up a channel. Yes, I have a channel, but I'm not trying to set up no platform where people following me and looking for me every other hour to put something out there like, no, look to the Most High. I'm gonna come on here and kick it all the time. I'm gonna bring the truth out, whether the world want to receive it or not, because that's my purpose. Just like in you and me and the next person. Some of us don't know that though, but you're gonna learn as the world turns. You see what's going on. All of these nations and their governments, they fall and they crumble. So you're gonna have to return to the Most High or fall by the wayside. Ain't nobody else got no plan for you. Like chain reaction. But you can't be deceived, family. You can't be deceived, family. Don't let them trick you off. You know, a lot of us dedicate our life to things that have taught us to pay attention, look, listen, and learn. To really pay attention to things before getting involved. And even while involved, there's a plan for whatever's going on. Tap into knowledge. Get that knowledge, right? Ain't nothing wrong with knowledge. I love studying and reading and practicing and improving. Man, that's the life. So, swear, change my approach. Stop shading the coat. Stay away from. And I did that. I remember singing that song. I used to say that. And when I really came out the streets, really with that mentality to hustle and all that, I never got back to that song. But I really did that. Came out the streets, stopped selling dope, stopped robbing, kidnapping, all that shit. Now I'm kidnapping and bringing people to the Most High. I ain't talking about kidnapping people and literally kidnapping them. No. But you know, when you one of them enlightened people and you got some sense about yourself and you move in a certain way, people gravitate towards you. They peep your light. They see it. Two do the same thing in them. And 9 times out of 10, they gravitate towards you because the spirit is moving you towards that way already. We're all children of the Most High. Some of us just have a more responsibility than the other. We don't all have the same mission. No, we don't. We are not all the same. Me will shrivel them up, kill them literally. They can't do that. So we are not all the same. And they know that. That's what a lot of their problem come from. Because they know. But their thing, they fighting one hell of a genetic war of survival. Francis Quest Wesley. But they're also waging war simultaneously on all fronts. And that's their thing. They want to control it because they fighting annihilation. That's why they move. That's why they move unhinged like they move. If you ain't have nothing to worry about, you'll learn how to move with some diplomacy when dealing with other nations. So you will move with love and compassion towards them so they can welcome your ass in. Don't nobody owe us nothing. We got politicians representing us that can't even do a fucking deal. The nations don't even want to deal with them because they so fucking wicked. Like, that's a badge of honor. And people are looking at you crazy because you speak the truth. Like, y'all ass tainted. Y'all a disease. And you choose to be that because you don't choose to do right. At some point in your fucking life, you gotta wake up, wisen up. I don't care who you are, gangster, whatever. Like I just found the brother wallet. I was at the store. So I did what any person would want. I would want the next person to do if I lost something. My man's dropped me off after I got through doing this lady car for him. And I had him stop her. It's down the street from me. So I had him stop down there. I dropped the wallet off. When nobody answered, but I hit a window. They ain't had no damn bell, no, but they just got a lock system on the door, a remote. You gotta press buttons. They ain't got no bells. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? I was supposed to ring the bell for people, but I hit the first floor window. They came to the window and I showed them. And I let them see his ID, which it comes back to that address. And I know he like, man, once he get there, I know I found it earlier, around 12 something. And I dropped it off to him about 8 something. I know he like, yes. He had so many fucking credit cards in there. I'm like, but I seen them, I didn't pull them out. I just pulled his ID out. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drop it off. Cause that's what I would want somebody to do, or drop it in the mailbox. But by him being 2 blocks from me, I'm like, that's love. I drop it off to him. Name or nothing. But his first floor neighbor got it. He's like, I don't know him. I'm like, well, this address, and he got all his credit cards and shit in here. Why don't you make sure he did it? Go knock on the door. I'm quite sure she'll see him in motion and passing. You're gonna see his ass come out one day. He a young guy. He gonna need that shit. When it was 8 something, I would have went and knocked on every door up there to see which one he was in. Even if he don't stay there, his people might stay there. But the lady came out. I left it on the porch. She took it. Looks like I know he gonna want that. I can just imagine. I know his ass happy as hell. I was just seeing that in my video yesterday. There are a lot of white people repent. They know they've been told lies. Across the board, people are studying and going back to the things we were taught and really doing your own research, and we learning things ain't truly what. Not that let me tell you something. I don't have no ill will towards no man. We believe that shit they used to tell us because that's what we were taught. But when the switch came on, when the light came on, we hit the, and most I hit the switch, turned the lights on. Oh, that's when the world showed you something different. They showed you something all the way different. You thought they was like you, but they showed you they wasn't. They wasn't into the Most High. They into themselves, fam. And it don't matter who it is. Fair use copyright. I want to hear this. See what the white folk talking about. See what sis talking about with the white folk. Because I'm seeing them making videos, repenting, and loving on black people. But you don't hear about this on the news. I'm telling you. I love him for that. But anyways, we are going to be looking. But black folk ain't playing with none of them. And we ain't sleep on the bullshit. Lady that I'm going to be stitching, she left no stone unturned. And this video is very important to watch, especially as a Black American. In fact, if you're living in America, but especially as a Black American person, watch this video. Share this video to your friends so that they can also get this information. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belong to original creators of every single place and stitches we have in our space episode. And I want to say very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I really do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. For those of you that love me whenever I laugh, let me give you a small laugh. I like
I'm going to say this to all of the white people as a white person. We are the problem with this country.
Oh, yeah.
We have been the problem since day one.
From day one.
Since we designed this country to benefit white people. Beating black people, lynching black people, tearing out the fetuses, using babies as alligator bait, paying Charleston to beat our slaves, to whip them and put salt in their wounds by the day. Segregation, Jim Crow. Most of you people don't even know what the hell it is, or how many people died, or about the sharks that follow the ships, because you don't care about actual history.
No,
oh, hey, let's just take Hawaii. Let's go steal it.
White people, white supremacists in particular, are going to white supreme themselves into extinction. And it's a canon event. Yeah. None of us should even think about interfering.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to watch, not funny ha, but funny situationally, because
it's funnily fucked up that I followed these people all my life. People, they try and teach you certain customs, which we think would be good, but it turns out none of that shit we was taught good. Maybe that's why we didn't never really truly like school. Yes, we wanted to learn. Hell yeah. I'd be on here reading books. You know what I'm saying? I got so many books and law books and things of that nature, history books, uh, anthropology, biology. I got books for law, books for business, books. I got the books. A lot of, but come to find out, the shit they was teaching us was bullshit. Just to sustain their run, whether right or wrong, they didn't care. There was no moral code. They didn't care. All they wanted was what they desired, the lust of their flesh. That's why the walls are crumbling. This nation is, to be honest, is under judgment. You may forget and tell black people, and black people may not want to hear we the children of Israel, and that it's judgment against all nations where we've been scattered. You need to repent and return to the covenant. Now all hell is breaking loose and don't nobody got a clue. Because the spirit, look at the spirit of only people that's running this nation and they allies. Did you not think God was? He already spoke. Now, what's meant to come is happening, and that they don't have all that access where they can kind of hide the shit they really doing behind things. Truth shall make you free. Pay attention. And the only way this is going to change is when the sons and daughters of the Most High, with that righteous spirit, that love, that Yahuwah spirit in us, we got that Yahuwah gene. We reach for God. We don't, and it's sad to say, like I was telling my baby, Charleston White was right. We search for God and solutions through his instruction. A lot of our people, the other ones, the men do. Them other ones, they go on their own. They feel they can do it their way, and then a lot of them try to belittle the men. They devils. They are workers of iniquity. I don't give a shit they look like us. All this confusion in the black community talking about what people are, what they ain't, all them nuances, man, y'all need to dead that shit. We need to come together. Trying to be right on every hand and like, man, stop. We ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of truth so we can do the things that we know we've been created to do. You are a creation. You ain't no Big Bang Theory shit. Stop listening to the word. God say. That's this word. Words have power, so you know it's a spirit in the word. That's not hard to understand. You say things to literally try to hurt people. You say the most vicious and vile shit to people. Because just as them words that you conjure up to hurt people when you want to say something to hurt them, that's how the Bible works. When you speak them words, the spirit comes forth. Now you can believe that bull crap they telling you, or you can come to the light, fam. It's time to come into the light. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights.
Routinely underestimate
they done. They cooked. Genesis 15,
which is exactly what we're seeing in Iran right now.
Repent.
The thing is, when you're racist,
look, the nation, the kingdoms are gonna fall because it's only gonna be one kingdom. Read Isaiah 9 and 6, Christ's kingdom. To order it upon his throne, the Most High is giving him the kingdom. It's gonna be just the last kingdom. They think they little kingdom, they finna usher their little kingdom in. After all this is over, okay, they think we don't know we already read. We know what's gonna happen. Stop playing. They gonna usher it in, but it ain't gonna last. The Most High gonna destroy it. And if you think he's not gonna hold fast to his word, the promises to them Hebrews, Jacob and them, it's in effect right now. You can start running to churches, running to these preachers, Run to the Bible. Get in a relationship with the Most High because the Spirit is going to lead you to the truth. When you read that thing, it's going to speak to yourself. I'm telling you.
You can't operate in racism and logic at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. So if you choose to operate under this delusion that white people are the only ones with motion, that America isn't real and the European nations are the only ones with motion, you're going to chronically and fatally underestimate your brown and black opponents. And that's exactly what's happening right now. This type of arrogance, the type of arrogance that led BBNet and that dumpster fire in the White House to attack Iran with no just cause is the same. It's this type of arrogance that is born out of white imperialism. Exactly. And white imperialism, said another way, is just European bullying. And they have just been bullying people for so long with just, unmatched levels of violence and barbarism that they've deluded themselves into thinking is strength, that now they've gotten high on their own supply, and they legitimately feel like they're the smartest and the strongest and the most strategic in the room when they couldn't be further from the truth.
People woke now. People ain't going for that shit. And it's not that black people go looking for problems with other nations. Hell no. It seems they always seem to bring their ass around us with the issues. Or if we're around, bring the issues for us. Like, I hope you're ready. You might get your ass beat. Or you might not. You might whoop some ass. But I don't want to take that chance because now I feel threat. That's cool. Carry your motherfucking gun. But I hope you got it ready when you playing them tough guy games. Because all that talking and standoff shit, no. I'm knocking motherfucker ass straight out in the door. Or I'm going to get knocked out. Because I'm with guns. I ain't got time for that shit. I done had them tell me many a times. I'll be around the hood, shadow boxing, walking around. Oh, Wayne, somebody going to shoot your motherfucking head off. Ain't nobody fighting. Where you think you at? Yes, they do. They do fight. That's just y'all. You telling me you a coward. But the only conclusion you can come to is to shoot somebody because you don't know how to relate to a person or converse, have a simple conversation about things to work. To operate as a normal person, that's on your ass. You got problems. Nah, you go. Work it out.
But you never interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake. So I'm going to sit back and watch as they flatten isn't real. And I just hope that when it comes time for Mary to pay her just due, people know where to direct their anger because it wasn't us. And you already know what I mean by us. But this white imperialism, this European imperialism, that insatiable greed that these people have for other people's shit has been the cause of like most of the wars throughout history. It was definitely the cause of World War I and World War II. Right now we're talking about World War I in chapter 14 of the People's History of the United States, titled War is the Health of the State. And do you know who called out the whiteness of it all when it first started? W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B. Du Bois. Oh my God, I wish I could have met him. If they asked me who I could sit and have lunch with, dead or alive, if I had to pick 5 people, W.E.B. Du Bois would be one of those people.
No.
The second person would be that John Curacao CIA guy. I would love to have lunch with him. But W.E.B. Du Bois pointed out in 1915 in an article that he wrote for Atlantic Monthly, the real reason behind the First World War, and I'll give you a hint. The real reason was white people wanting shit that's not theirs. Again.
Bottom line.
That's all they ever do. And so, in order to set the scene for where this world war came from, I'm just going to read you directly from the book. And what I want is for you to think about how this connects to what we see in 2026. Because keep in mind, if you're thinking to yourself, well, how is this evil?
Family, we did the research. America's doctrine, they think they Greece and Rome. Do your research on Greece and Rome. You'll know who the fuck these people are.
Iranian conflict in any way similar to imperialism? Like, how does imperialism play into this at all?
They want to run shit.
Isn't real, wants everything. They want to basically decimate the entire Muslim world so they can turn it into a Jewish state. If that's not imperialism, I don't know what is. Yeah. But I shouldn't say Jewish. I should say Zionist, right?
Yeah, a Zionist
state. No shade to the Jews. So,
exactly, say the truth.
Let's get into what role imperialism won. Now, before I read all of this, and by all of this, it's like less than a page. Before I read all of this, I want to point out themes to keep in mind as I read through this. The first theme is imperialism, because all of these white nations are fighting over like control of black and brown nations. So it's like a vampire fight.
Yeah.
Which one of us is going to get to suck the blood from this African country? So it's imperialism. The second thing that he's pointing out is American hypocrisy. And the third thing that he's pointing out is the ingenious evil of capitalism in uniting exploiter, minority, and exploited white poors in a common goal of dominating the blacks and the browns.
I don't think people
understand. All right, let's get into it. Howard Zinn writes, a remarkably perceptive article on the nature of the First World War appeared in May 1915 in the Atlantic Monthly. Written by W.E.B. Du Bois, it was titled The African Roots of War. It was a war for empire, of which the struggle between Germany and the Allies over Africa was both symbol and reality. Quote from Du Bois, in a very real sense, Africa is a prime cause of this terrible overturning of civilization which we have lived to see, end quote. Africa, Du Bois said, is the land of the 20th century because of the gold and diamonds of South Africa, the cocoa of Angola and Nigeria, the rubber and ivory of the Congo, the palm oil. Du Bois saw he was writing several years before Lenin's imperialism, which noted the new possibility of giving the working class of the imperial country a share of the loot. The loot, because these motherfuckers were stealing.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed to the paradox of greater democracy in America alongside increased aristocracy and hatred toward darker races. He explained the paradox by the fact that the white working man has been asked to share the spoil of exploiting, quote, chinks and niggers.
That's that Greek shit. They think they the Greeks.
Yes, the average citizen of England.
The Greek says, if you're not white, then you were born to serve them. You were meant to be a slave.
France, Germany, the United States had a higher standard of living than before. But, to quote Du Bois,
and Dr. Monroe, Miles Monroe, he brought that out in a sermon. I'll never forget it. I'm like, when I think about it, excuse me, I think about it, you start putting two and two together, and you will see, like, these people here, these people don't quit. They relentless with the bull. They with the bull all day. You know what I'm saying? They with the bull every way any way you can imagine. They with it. They with the it's. You know what I'm saying? They with the it.
Whence comes this new wealth? Meaning, where is this new wealth coming from? It comes primarily from the darker nations of Asia and Africa, South and Central America, the West Indies, and the islands of the South Seas. Du Bois saw the ingenuity of capitalism in uniting exploiter, rich minority, and exploited, poor whites, creating a safety valve for explosive class conflict. It is no longer simply the merchant quote, it is no longer simply the merchant prince or the aristocratic monopoly or even the employing class that is exploiting the world. It is the nation, a new democratic nation composed of united capital and labor. The United States fitted that idea of Du Bois, American capitalism needed international rivalry and periodic war to create an artificial community of interest between rich and poor, supplanting the genuine community of interest among the poor that showed itself in sporadic movement. So let's just annotate this part of the book real quick. Zen writes that it was a war empire in modern day. How are they trying to create this empire? By going into darker nations and taking over what they already have and then calling it theirs. This is what colonizers do.
Africa too.
This is what it looks like when history starts to repeat itself. Same shit, different day. Same motivations, different places. Same story, different country. And so if at the beginning of the 20th century, they were all trying to walk down on Africa so that they could get the gold and diamonds of South Africa, the cocoa of Angola and Nigeria, the rubber and ivory of the Congo, the palm oil of the West Coast. What exactly are they trying to get from Iran right now? Oil. What exactly have they been trying to get from the Palestinians this entire time, this entire 80 years? Land. When I tell you these motherfucking European colonizers never change tactics, and that's their problem. Because since they never change tactics, they become what? Predictable. And what happens when your enemy is both predictable and extremely arrogant? They lose. And then when Howard Zinn says that Du Bois was pointing to the paradox of greater democracy in America alongside increased aristocracy and hatred toward darker races, what this entire Make America Great Again shtick that these crazy-ass white people have been on for 10 years has been operating under the delusion that we're improving our democracy alongside increased aristocracy. The rich have just gotten richer, and hatred toward darker races. Racism has just gotten more blatant in this country.
3.0. I heard
and then Du Bois goes on to say,
on everything, I heard the motherfucking kids. I watched his sister. She was talking about in a video her daughter and a little white boy. Her daughter was telling the story. Her little white boy, nigga, 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 nigga. I'm like, huh? What? No, fuck out of it. I can see my grandson. My grandson would have popped the fuck out that little boy. Who you call it? What? Ah! He been calling his mama like, oh, what the hell? What the hell he doing? He getting that shit from home. So you send that back home. Let them know what they got coming when we see their ass for teaching them that. Smack you in your fucking nose. Stop playing. I remember they did that shit to my brother. We was coming from Hyde Park Theater, Chicago, over east, on 53rd. What's that? 53rd and Harper Square. Hyde Park Theater. I don't know if it's still there. It might be still there. But yeah. Some Gentiles coming. They, you know, you got the white folk over there. You call my brother a nigga. Like, what? My brother, dude couldn't say the shit, get it out of his mouth quick enough. My brother smacked that motherfucker in his nose so hard it started bleeding immediately. I'm like, man, who the fuck you talking to, boy? You better watch your motherfucking mouth. Get your ass beat over here and robbed. Like, whoa, we was kids then. Get your ass whooped. Smack the shit out that fool. That's what's up. We play with these people. We play with our own, with your ass. Don't wait, cause that's the shit I only do. We be smacking our ear, motherfucker. I mean, excuse me. We be smacking. Now, everything I do, I try to do it and right. Out here teaching every day, but I'm like, the Holy Spirit is your teacher. I enjoy the conversations, talking about the truth and, you know, people awakening and gathering and coming together. That part we don't seem to get into too tough. We still going about our own salvation. I'm gonna get this job and I'm gonna save here. And everybody saying don't work. Most time, that's the law. I heard somebody say we didn't have the law in the beginning. And I'm like, these people don't understand who they dealing with the most. And it was a Gentile. He's trying to explain Genesis 1:1. He went into the Hebrew, but I don't think he get the gist of how it's expressed in the natural. He was coming with somebody else's interpretation of how they interpret when the word is speaking to you. It's not asking you to decipher nothing. Now, in to a degree, you might go into the Hebrew because it's transliterated. That means they brought it from the original language, probably took it to Greek, and then now it's in English. It's still, and that is and that is a Germanic language, family. So what sister's saying, we know they got the power. They the one owns the printing presses. You know, the big printing presses. You did, and they own a whole lot of more stuff I won't even talk about, family, because that seems to get when you talk about the truth and speak on who's doing it. And I'm not with no, oh well, I heard. I'm gonna say who it is. I'm different. I'm cutting raw. I'm raw. I just tell the truth. I can't even lie on myself. Lie for myself. I can't because I understand there's something greater work. The Most High, once you awaken, you gonna remember that. I know y'all like, why they be always talking about the Bible? I didn't have people who confess to be stone cold Christians. They don't want to talk about the Bible. Well, I don't talk about the Bible. What you mean you don't talk about the Bible? What you want to talk about some these old freaky ass people out here in this system? These people freaky as hell. What is there to talk about? They freaky. They demonic. They evil. They wicked. They need to repent because they can turn from their wicked ways. They choose to be wicked. They'll walk past the book, won't even stop to think about reading. Okay, let me read the Bible. I'm gonna read the Bible. They don't care what time it is. They wait till Sunday and then they get something watered down, like I was saying with that preacher. He explained Genesis 1:1, but I'm like, you wait, this dude way off. You know, whoever gave them their interpretation. I know they tried, but they didn't get it. They didn't get it. Mm-mm. We got the we got the Ruach on us, family. You want to know that word? I wouldn't care how long they've been uh, keeping history. They don't know that word. If you got to add, you don't get it. You don't get that there's a spirit at work behind it. And a lot of our people, though, we got the same poison in our mind. We think we need to return to a broken covenant. That's crazy. Anything the Messiah speaking, that's you gotta. One thing you need to understand him. Everything that's said about him. Once you take that in, you understand automatically. When I'm looking at him, I'm looking at the Father. So everything that I'm saying about him and how I'm even thinking, it goes a level higher. I can't bring what's broken and destroyed already, thinking I'm somehow gonna be righteous about it now that I'm in the lawgiver. I'm following him. He's leading. He's my leader, my king, the eternal. So my job is to align with him and operate in his power, his spiritual. That's why I'm saying if you need another book, something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with the book we got. It's the interpreters. They don't get it. That's why they interpret it in ways that's confusing. But when you put a black face on it and read that book then, it's gonna come alive. I promise you. The Bible come alive. 7.0. 7 is the sign of completion.
That he explained the paradox by the fact that the white working man has been asked to share the spoil of exploiting chinks and niggers. Excuse the slurs. This is literally what is written in this book. Okay. How does that relate? How does that mirror what's going on right now? Just use your brain and think. I'm not going to think for you. Okay. I want to point out how incredibly courageous it is that Du Bois, a black man, had the courage had the fucking balls on him to call out the hypocrisy of white supremacy in 1915. People struggle to do that today.
Athlete home is so important for
reading. Is so important. You would have been knew this if you've been studying your people. Black people been telling the truth. We ain't just started telling no damn truth. In the sense of not, okay, this is not a ritual for me to get up every day and, be stalking people, seeing what they doing. No, it's the shit you do. You put it out there. So when I pick it up and I know it ain't right, yeah, I'm gonna expose it. Hell no, they ain't right. Don't mess with them. Leave them folk alone. What you talking
111 years ago, when it was much harder to do so. I just wanted to give him his flowers there. But he goes on to say, Howard Zinn goes on to write of Du Bois, the average citizen of England, France, Germany, and the United States had a higher standard of living than they did before. Sure. How did they achieve this higher standard of living? Let's pull at that thread a little bit more. Where did all of this wealth come from? When you go to Paris, when you go to Portugal, when you go to London, and you look around and you see all of these gorgeous buildings, where did they get the money to build these buildings? Where is all of this money coming from to build this? But then when you go to the places where they're sourcing this wealth from, Swedish chocolate is not grown in Sweden.
Yeah, no, it's
I'll give you one that's grown, and everybody really looks like me.
Congo.
But the people there that actually are producing the chocolate don't have any motherfucking money. Why? Because
they get it from the Congo and they get it from Ghana. And it's crazy because the government won't let them outsource, sell their product outside or bring it to the government first. I'm like, huh? Man, you supposed to grow that shit and put it on the market. People gonna come and buy them that coconut. You can make our own damn chocolate. It's to process and refine and all this. Hell no. We got engineers. We can do that shit ourselves. And turn around and sell it. Look what they doing with the black gold. They refining it, right? Turn around and sell it to them for astronomical fucking prices. Like, how? Hell no. If anything, we'll give you a chop for selling it. I mean, for refining it. But all that, you turn around and sell it back to us, get the fuck out of here. That's a fucked up deal. Who came up with that deal? That's how you made these nations great. Through usury. The Most High don't. I was just reading Isaiah 60 earlier on the bus, going into the hood when I went to, like I said, I was going to handle that business with the automobile. And I was reading Isaiah. I heard a sermon, a message. I was reading Isaiah 51 pertaining to the black man and woman, for sure, the Negroes especially, and that you are the children of the Most High. And that these things happening are prophecy. They're not just happening. We know that. We've been big blowing the shofar and we'll continue to blow the shofar. Am I pushy with it? No. But I'm dead on point with it. Everywhere I go, you gonna know. We the children of Israel. You need to repent and return back to the Most High God. It doesn't look religious. It's not gonna look nothing worldly. Whatever you doing, it's gonna come from the soil. When we say you really getting it from the mud, oh, you got to know what it is to get it out the mud. Because in the dirt is where life is. And the spirit hovered over the earth, hovered over the waters. The spirit was operating. He put it in the earth to operate. It's still here. What you think holding everything together? Him. That same spirit is in us, man. Better activate. You can overcome. But you got to come out of that. That's why I stick to things that speak to the truth. While the world is painting this fictitious picture, fake picture, like we the United Nations, we love everybody. But you ain't listening and really paying attention if you think that's what's going on. America is not moved by God's law. They got their own law. They got the law of deception. They speak with a forked tongue. They might speak against something and be promoting it. You know, they might be bankrolling shit. Like, kind of, what kind of wickedness is this? And then when you speak on it, people look at you like, oh, they just belly aching. Why they always talking about that black power stuff? Excuse me. What other power we supposed to be talking about? The hell wrong with y'all? Y'all done got lazy at the wheel. I don't care what state I'm in. I'm gonna remain. I'm gonna remain 100. Keep it a buck with the kingdom, family. I'm standing on kingdom. You can go to the streets, go in the streets, the areas I'm frequent, in the county, in the penitentiary, to the cats that was in the streets, you know, because they were seeking the Most High for real and truth. I'm talking about people you hearing about, oh man, don't go, I wouldn't go to Chicago. I wouldn't go in them certain areas. Family, I was in the county 35, retired age. You know, I was half active and halfway serving God. But I stuck to serving God with a fervor that they was like, this dude here, they ain't called me no Christian. We weren't Christians. We understood that. Because the brother that talked us into doing all this, praying and reading the Bible, when I come out the cell and I seen him, I immediately went over there. Because that's something I always did. I enjoyed the Bible. My mama raised us in the Bible. We was around aunties that promoted it, took us to church. They promoted their way of life. Even though we chose to make decisions, you know, going to our world, you know how you do it. You go out there, you make your bones. This is the life I'm gonna lead, so this is the world. This is the road I need to travel. And that's what we was doing. You made your way, you lost some. You won friends, you lost a lot along the way. Even some family. Things. We always allow things to get between us because it was depraved. But then, what playbook are you leaning on? You following the script the world created, or you following the Most High? You follow the Most High, it ain't nothing but yes and amen. So you gotta learn to get locked in, tune in, dial out the world off, kingdom on. Get locked in, get in that word, study that word, walk it out. When people speak the word. That's how you keep them away from it. I'm like, damn, nobody want to hang with Wayne no more. They don't fuck with Wayne. They don't bring in cars. But let me tell you something. What the Most High already put in play, and that goes for all of us. That don't go just for the Hebrew that was chosen by the God of Israel. Now, they Hebrew Israelites, the first seed, the first family. Christ is the first seed. They the first family, the royal family, the royal house of Judah. Southern kingdom is where the inhabitants of Jerusalem and Judah dwell. Yeah, some Benjamin and Levi and some of the other Israel that was in there. All majority of Israel went when the kingdom split in two, but some remained under King Rehoboam in the southern kingdom. That's what Christ came through, the tribe of Judah. And Judah came out of where? Judah is the son of Jacob, them Jacob's descendants down there. And Israel are some of Jacob's descendants that went in to form Israel. That's what you hear about. They crossed over. They crossed over, came out of the world and returned to the covenant that was given to their forefathers. They are servants forever. That's why black people love church, but church ain't it. It's a spiritual thing. You got it's relationship time. I don't care ministering. I was in the penitentiary minister, going hard. That's where I got a lot of my education from. I was locked up. I that to connect to the source. And I already knew from then we was a special people. Then you got another brother when I first got to Pontiac in 91, Marcelli. I can't remember his last name for shit, but I know his first name is Josh. And he used to tell us, and G used to go off. He's from out west. He was plugged with the folks too. He's a G. But his His approach was strictly here. Read that Bible all day. He was telling us who he was. Like, man, y'all don't know y'all the people in this book being talked about. He was telling me that in 92, 91, 92, 92. I was in Pontiac, 93, 94. Then I ran into him again. I forgot what joint I was in. One of the medium joints by then. And he was out there like Moses. Bro was on his business with that book. He had a book all in the day room everywhere with him. And his ass was still going hard. I'm like, this nigga Fly wasn't no joke. He was one of the OGs too. Older. When he come, he was there when I got Pontiac in 91. That was my nigga. He was an ex-pimp too. But he was a gov out in the street. That was in the 80s. And that was my Fly was like getting in the game. Real talk, he was a player, cool ass player type nigga for real. You know, Fly be talking to his women like, I was like, this nigga really think he's still in the street. Fly was real about what he was doing. Deadly Iranian missile barrage. That's sad to see. But hey, why you are chosen, there is something God has been revealed. Yes, God inheritance and mission. Fair use copyright, fair use copyright. Everybody's not chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. And I hear that, and that sends a signal. When I hear that, I will watch and listen. But I listen for a certain rhythm, a certain language that's being spoken. When you say you chosen, you know what time it is. You should know the foundation and the instruction from whence you get that even comes from where that comes from. That is kingdom culture. God chooses. It's the Most High who chooses. Many are called, and few are chosen. Family. He chose Jacob. That's his inheritance. The lot of his inheritance, Israel. Jacob and Israel. Jacob and Israel. But you gotta understand, Israel had been. Why people, like I was saying, the man was trying to express Genesis 1 and 1, which is cool, he's seeking the Most High, but they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't see Yahushua in Genesis 1:1. You look up the words Aleph Tav, and it's gonna direct you to the Messiah, the beginning and the end. You know instinctively if we've heard all our life. Christ said, them saying Christ said that he's the Alpha and the first word. That's the Father, the head, the beginning, right? The head. Remember that. That's one of the many definitions of it. Then you have Tav. Tav is the end. That word is like what they translated in the Greek, the Omega. That word comes from Tav. In the Hebrew, it's Tav. Tav with a V or a W, depending on the time period. I'm being honest, I believe V was the first, before there was a W. There was no W at the time. But anyway, you know when you go into the ancient paleo, you're gonna get a whole, your eye is gonna be open, family. You should not open your third eye. You study that book, you really build that relationship, consecrate yourself to the Most High, you're going to get in that relationship. Let me see what this is talking about. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. Right. We want to share kingdom information with all God's people. You know, we don't want to see war all day, death and destruction. We want to hear the word. You want to see visuals. You want to see visuals of God's kingdom in real time, operating through his people. Shalom.
Without crying, but I'm just wasting time.
Why are you crying?
So I just decided to hit record. There's something that God has been revealing, and I need you to hear it clearly because once you understand this, you will never question your calling, your identity, or God's intentions towards you again. We always say God is all knowing, but we forget what that actually means. God doesn't just know information, He doesn't just see what's happening right now. God stands outside of time, He sees the beginning and the end at the same time. That's what Isaiah 46 says. He declares the end from the beginning. That's why Psalms 139 says, every day of your life was written before you lived a single one. That's why Revelation calls him the one who is, who was, and who is to come. God knows every outcome of every choice we could ever make. But here's the part that people misunderstand. God's knowledge does not remove our freedom. He gives us freedom to choose the life we want to live, the path we want to take, the direction our heart will lean toward. His foreknowledge is not manipulation whatsoever. His awareness is not coercion. He sees the route we'll take, but he does not force our steps. I think of it like watching a football game that was already recorded. Knowing the outcome doesn't change how the players acted. They still choose. They still moved. They still responded to what was in front of them. Your knowledge did not alter. In the same way, God's knowledge doesn't override our decisions. It simply means he already knows the story. And here's why this matters. You're not a puppet. You are never outside his providence. Every detour, every wrong turn, every season you thought ruined you, and every moment you thought you were too far gone, he had already accounted for it. He knew the lessons you'd learned. He knew the growth you'd need. He knew the version of you he was shaping through it all. The destination was always secure. You just got to choose the route. And this leads me to the next revelation, the one that answers a question almost nobody knows how to articulate. Is this why some of us are chosen? Is it because he already knew we would choose him? The short answer is yes, but not in the way people think. Romans chapter 8, verse 29 tells us clearly, for those God foreknew, he also predestined. Foreknowledge comes first, meaning before God chose you, he already saw the posture your heart would take. He already saw the future version of you who would surrender. He already saw your yes before you ever spoke it. He didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because he saw your heart leaning toward him, even in your brokenness. He saw the worshiper inside the wounded you. He saw the prophet inside the quiet one. He saw the cycle breaker inside the child who was breaking under.
That's right.
He saw the mother, the teacher, the voice, the deliverer inside the little you nobody protected. God calls everyone, but not everyone responds. You became chosen the moment God saw that even with your trauma, your mistakes, your pain, your confusion, and your wandering, your heart would still come home to him. And because he saw your eventual
Peace and
yes,
blessings, y'all.
he marked you early. He developed you through fire. He positioned you through pain.